Hi there, and welcome to the FSBO Smarts podcast. In this episode, we're going to talk about inflation numbers and how that's affecting our for sale by owner journey in selling our own homes for sale by owner. We're also going to look at stats from the National Association of Real Estate Agents and see what the economic status is and conditions are. We're also going to look at inflation numbers and the predictions of the either increase or decrease of the Fed's rates, and it looks like they might be actually increasing instead of decreasing this year. And finally, we're going to look at some tech layoffs. As of May of 2024, there's been over 50,000 new tech layoffs. So we're going to talk about that and how that affects the real estate market coming right up. Hey there, this is Steve Klein with the FSBO Smarts podcast, bringing you the best tips, tools, and techniques on for sale by owner as it relates to investment property that you own or your own personal residence, so that you can become FSBO smart and save potentially thousands, tens of thousands of dollars on your next home sale. So let's get into this episode. First of all, I wanted to talk about the CNBC report that's talking about Powell getting together and talking about the inflation numbers next week. So we're going to keep an eye on that. But all indicators are that the Fed chair, Jerome Powell, is going to talk about the inflation. And everyone's thinking, okay, it's going to be up. Obviously, it's up all around. But we won't really know those conversations until they happen and how that's going to affect the market and also real estate prices and interest rates in general. So just stay tuned for that. I'll bring you up to date on that in our June podcast. The other thing was interesting is the CNBC had a prediction of mortgage rates for 2024. And they're saying that they're going to be likely to fall. Now, I've been hearing that there's going to be decreases of 5, 6 different Fed decreases in the interest rate. Well, here we are in May, and I still have yet to see one. So I don't know how much this is just artificially inflated to give us kind of some hope. And again, us as for sale by owner home sellers, it puts us in the prime situation because we're not relying on a real estate agent to sell a house. Now, what's going to be interesting is as these inventories of homes that are not sold increases and the amount of real estate agents that are not making any money, maybe they were doing this part-time, they say, I can't afford this anymore, I'm going to go back to my other job or whatever. We're going to see a lot less real estate agents or real estate agents that are, how should I say it, less engaged, less motivated. We could see them potentially holding on to a house because that might be the only house they have for sale. They may not want to reduce the price, especially if their commission is on the line. And sometimes when you're in a contract with a real estate agent, it could be 6 months to a year. And so let's just say they're not moving that house for you. And you're like, well, I would have rather took my own chances on my own and sold it. I could have dropped it down by, $10,000 or $20,000. I could have sold it for that. Well, you could have, but you got to think of in terms of, okay, is that really the way we want to go? Is that really what we want to do? And if it is, great. I mean, go for it. But maybe there's another ulterior motive that you have, and maybe that you can help your potential buyer, because again, real estate agents, remember, they want to get the most they can out of your money or out of your home. They want to get the most commission that they can, and that the higher they sell your house for, the higher their 6% commission fee is. But if they don't have that high level and you don't have that high level commission that you need to pay them, you can choose to do what you want. You can still charge the same amount and get that extra money for yourself, or you can reduce it and get someone into the house quicker. Sometimes in this market, you might have to do that. So let's go over this one. It's really interesting. It says, it's been a tough year so far for home buyers who are facing double whammies of high prices and rising loan rates. Okay, so I see right there, high prices. We as for sale by owners don't need to charge high prices, especially if the market is starting to turn down. Houses that were evaluated at say 600,000 just about 2 years ago have now come down to around 550,000, at least in my area. That's not true for all areas, but that's true for the one that I'm in, and I just keep seeing that coming down more and more as time progresses. It says, unfortunately, the remainder of 2024 may not offer much relief, at least according to the economist at mortgage buyers Freddie Mac. We expect mortgage rates to remain elevated through most of 2024. And so they're even saying that they're seeing that the mortgage rates are going to be elevated more than normal. So here's where it gets interesting. Rates on 30-year mortgage are hovering above 7%, close to the highest points in more than 20 years, with the inflation remaining stubbornly high. The Federal Reserve is expected to delay cutting its benchmark rates. The Freddie Mac said it's predicting that the central bank will only make one cut in 2024, with the occurring towards the end of the year. So right there, we were talking at the beginning of the year that there's going to be a cut, at least 5 to 6 cuts, someone said. I can't remember where that came from, but now we're seeing, well, no, it's going to be maybe 1 or 2. I don't know. So yeah, things aren't looking as good as I think they optimistically hoped for. But again, we as for sale by owners, we can still be optimistic because we have options. And that's what's one of the greatest things here. So the other thing that can affect our for sale by owner journey is getting people pre-qualified for our home. You might remember it in a few episodes back, we talked about how important it is to pre-qualify or have a buyer that's pre-qualified. And it's just a simple question. Have you been pre-approved by your bank? And if the answer is no, say, well, we'd really like to make sure you're pre-approved before we can sign this contract or agree on an earnest money agreement. So maybe that's something you can do first ahead of time. It would really help. And you can, I wouldn't say demand it, but you can suggest it. And a lot of times people are more than willing to do that. It just saves you time and it saves them time, because wouldn't it be bad if you tied up your property or they tied up your property for say 15 days, 30 days. Usually on our earnest money agreement, I recommend 10 to 10 days or so, a couple weeks, 10 days to 14 days, so 10 days to 2 weeks, so that you can give them a time to go and check with their bank. The other option is to have them be pre-approved, and so then you don't have to have that delay. You can just right away know, okay, they're pre-approved. They still have to officially approve. They have to officially approve the loan through their bank, but the pre-approval process is usually pretty well vetted. So they're never really going to, well, I shouldn't say never, but most times, 9 times out of 10, they're already saying, okay, this person has the means, they've been pre-approved, unless, something catastrophic happens, like they lose all their money in a windstorm, or they lose their job or whatever. 9 times out of 10, they're going to be able to pay that loan. And so the pre-approval process is very important. Now, that being said, if the job markets are going down, that could lessen the pool of people that would buy a home. And what I've seen happen from especially the tech side of things, because our company that I run anyway, Zarico Media, we've seen a little bit of increase lately in the need for people to help out, things that are happening. We're doing API development, software development, things like this. But at the beginning of the year, it wasn't so. I mean, in fact, one of our biggest clients we lost. And so that could be a very big blow to a company who has to think, okay, we have this many employees, we have this much work, or we lost this much work. How many employees are we going to have to cut? And so that's what we're seeing now in the real world. We're seeing it in a bigger sense through the tech world. So I just went and did a Google search on this, tech layoffs in 2024. And as of May, we're seeing layoffs. And this is also in sectors that are not even tech, but that are near tech. Okay, so this is from the Tech Layoff. This is from the Crunchbase Tech Layoffs Tracker. and this is as of May 3rd, so not too long ago, May 3rd, 2024. More than 191,000 U.S. tech workers, or tech companies rather, were laid off in mass job cuts in 2023, according to our tally, and the cuts have continued into 2024. Following are here a comprehensive tech layoff tracker. So they put this database together, and they talk about Google and Microsoft and also smaller startup companies. So let me just read this for a few. The number of U.S. tech workers received pink slips in the week climbing, as did number of companies handing them out. The insurtech sector, however, felt the biggest pinch in Connecticut location. Sprout, along with Bellevue, Washington-based Assurance, reported total shutdowns. That means totally quit, totally shut the company down. It's unclear how many U.S. tech workers were affected by these. So it goes on to a few others, talks about tech giant Google announced that another rounds of layoffs, this time affecting what it refers to as the core unit. While it's unclear how many of the 200 affected employees are based in the U.S., according to the report CSNBC, at least 50 engineering workers in Sunnyvale, California location were part of the number. The company recognizes that also includes plans to fill some positions through hires in Mexico and India. So that's what I've heard too. I've heard that a lot of tech companies are hiring overseas because it's a lot cheaper and because the inflation is so high. So tech layoffs in the U.S. companies that cut jobs in 2022, 2023, and 2024, and then it gives you some numbers here. At the May 3rd, 2024, at least 1,242 U.S. tech sector employees were laid off. In 2024, at least 48,278 workers in U.S. tech companies have lost their jobs so far in the year, according to Crunch News tally. Now in 2023, it says 191,000 total lost their jobs. So right away, we're already seeing another trend upward like we had in 2023. This is really big for if we're trying to sell a house and you have less workers being able to buy your house. Now, again, tech is just a portion of our market, but tech can really be a sign of the times. A lot of people are even using NVIDIA, for example. NVIDIA, if it goes up or down in the stock market, people are looking at that company now, which started out as, a graphic card manufacturer, now is manufacturing chips for other parts of the computer, making whole systems. And as a result, and they're even getting into AI, by the way, and as a result, they're just like, yeah, if they go up, it brings some of the tech sectors up. But we've seen recently that even with NVIDIA going up, other tech stocks are going down. And so it really depends on the market. And what we're seeing here is a whole different trend that we've seen in the past, which it's kind of coming full circle. I mean, we knew this was going to happen. We knew that the market was going to shift, and how that was going to affect our FSBO journey is really interesting. The thing I think about when I think about being for sale by owner is that it gives us the flexibility to price our home, to hold on to our home and not be stressed if we don't have to sell it right away, that is. And if we just got into our home and we haven't built up a lot of equity yet, being able to sell it for sale by owner means that you almost have a little bit of equity. If you just bought your house 2 or 3 years ago, you may only have 30 or 40,000 equity in it. But if you let a real estate agent sell it, it's all gone, right? And so by you selling it for sale by owner, you can save that equity towards your next home or money that you need right now, especially in this uncertain times that we're seeing right here. But anyway, as you can see, there's a lot of stuff happening right now in the world as far as layoffs, and I don't think that's going to go away anytime soon. Companies are cutting back. I saw a lot of restaurants. I mean, restaurants that you would have gone to and you would have known for years. I don't have them listed here, but maybe we'll get into them on the next episode. It's just crazy. I mean, stuff like Red Lobster. There's other companies that are shutting down stores, like over 30%, and sometimes as much as 70% of their stores, their chains. Like if you had a chain that was like 50 stores, or 50 restaurants rather, they would be selling, or they would be closing like 30 of them or 40 of them. It's just crazy. Again, I don't have those stats, but what it tells me is the market is shifting big time. And I don't know if this is due to the pandemic. I don't know if it's due to just people not going out as much, inflation, miscalculations. Like when you get an influx of money, like we did with the pandemic, you may not really have thought about it through very well, right? Like businesses get the money. Did they save for the rainy day? I don't know. Well, hopefully they did, right? So what we want to do is we want to make sure we look at that. We want to look at the whole market. We want to make sure that what we're seeing is what we're seeing. And then we want to make sure that when we offer our home for sale, that we are doing it in the right price at the right time. So if the market is going a little soft, and the good news is we can price our home, right? If the market's going soft, our house is valued at $350,000. Start at $350,000. If the house doesn't sell within a month or two and you need to sell it by month 3, you can reduce it. Even if you reduced it, let's say it was $350,000, you reduced it to $345,000. So that only brings it down to $5,000 under the value of your home. But if you owe a lot less, it doesn't really matter to you. You're trying to get a certain amount of money from it. And remember, saving the commission fee on that $350,000 home, if the commission was say $21,000, you can afford to even go down that much if you really wanted to, because that would have been the money you would have given to a real estate agent anyway. So it's really up to you as for how much you want to sell your home. The bottom line is that in this economy, you might have to be flexible to either reduce your rate or reduce your, not the rate, but the price of your home. The interest rate's not going to go anywhere. It's going to be whatever it's going to be. So if someone applies for a loan and it's 7%, they're going to have to pay 7%. That's just the way it is, right? So if you can help them in any way by reducing the price so they can afford it, or whatever you want to do, it's all up to you because you are the seller and you have a lot of flexibility there. But anyway, so that's all I have for this episode. By the way, we are relaunching our course. It's going to be out this month. Look for it at FSBO-smarts.com. Right now, if you go to the store link, there'll be links there, but they won't go anywhere right now because we're still in the final phase is actually, of testing our new course management system. I'm really excited about it. And when the courses become available, you'll be able to see it. I know a few of you asked, so stay tuned for that. So that's it for now. Remember to live life to the fullest. Save as much as you can on your next home sale by doing for sale by owner. And we'll see you in the next episode.